So you've started studying medicine, but it's not going quite as well as you'd envisioned. Too many consultants are shouting at you, you're crying too much, you feel anxious, you feel horrible, and you're not quite sure if this is the right path for you anymore. And you've started wondering, what else can I do with my medical degree? Well, I'm going to get straight to the point and tell you that the short answer to this is basically anything. I know that sounds ridiculous and a little bit airy-fairy, but stick with me and let me explain. I will give you a definitive list of other things that you can do, but first I want you to get clear about something. If you're someone who wants to leave medicine or you're thinking about doing a different career, you've probably Googled, what else can I do with my medical degree? And you've come across websites or platforms for ex-doctors or people leaving medicine. And usually these websites and platforms have a list of like really generic medical-esque jobs that you can do. And these jobs range from things like aesthetics to consulting, public health, research, and so on and so forth. Now, granted, some of you reading that list might be really excited to do one of those things, and you might be thinking, yeah, that's definitely what I want to do. But in my experience as someone who left medicine 6 years ago, those generic lists are incredibly limiting. When I wanted to leave and I went to my careers advisor in the uni and tried to ask people around me, what shall I do with my medical degree? They all gave me this super generic list of jobs and careers that I had absolutely no interest in, and I didn't really have anyone to ask at the time, and the internet wasn't the best place to look. I do think these lists are a good place to start if you have absolutely no idea what to do with your medical degree, but at the same time I really feel like they box you in and they try and keep you in this like specific field within the medical industry. What I wish these platforms did instead was make it very clear to you that you can basically do anything. Having a medical degree is a really powerful thing and should not be underestimated. It's recognized pretty much everywhere in the world, and in many industries and sectors, having a medical degree is a very strong symbol of intelligence, hard work, and it's very unique to have a medical degree outside of medicine because most people who want to be doctors end up being doctors and don't leave medicine. So that really puts you in a strong position to be able to break into a new industry or sector because the medical degree itself speaks very loudly for you. And when I say you can do anything, I'm not just trying to like motivate you, I'm genuinely letting you know that in this day and age, it's so easy for you to learn new skills, experience new careers and jobs, and just switch from career to career much easier than it ever has been in the past. You don't necessarily need to start uni all over again just to break into a new industry or sector. Even having the medical degree itself and the experience of going through medical school equips you with so many skills and experiences that you can take with you forward into any other career or job that you want to do. So it's definitely not a waste of time to have the medical degree and then do something else outside of medicine. Having a medical degree is not a limiting factor in any way, and that's the most important takeaway I want you to take away from this video, is that this is not a limiting factor and that you do not have to box yourself in to a specific job or career just because you've seen it on some random platform for ex-doctors or people leaving medicine. So I wanted to give you a list of things that you could do outside of medicine with your medical degree. And I actually want to categorize these into different sections. So the first one is, I'm actually going to give you the list of the generic ones that people usually go for. It includes things like consulting, career coaching, aesthetics, medical research, and things like that. These are the jobs that most people will try and push you towards. And these are the jobs that I think most doctors who leave medicine try first before they do something else. And don't get me wrong, these jobs and careers can be so fulfilling and exciting, and I'm sure some people absolutely love doing them, but it's just to say that they are definitely not the be-all and end-all of leaving medicine and doing something with your medical degree. The next section I want to talk about is tech, and I want to give this industry its own section because A, I have the most experience in it, and B, because it's brimming with opportunity. So here's a list of jobs that you can do within the tech sector. Some of them obviously require you to do a bit more upskilling before you dive straight in, for example, software development or UX design. Other ones are a bit easier to quickly break into or to test out, for example, copywriting, graphic design, things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is an easy path, but just to say that you definitely don't need to limit yourself to just medical things. You can still go way outside of medicine, have a fantastic career, and your medical degree can help you get there. The next section I also want to talk about is the business sector, because there is a plethora of opportunity here as well. It's a little bit harder to break into the business sector because I feel like there are more barriers standing in people's way, but that doesn't mean it's not something that you can definitely try and give it it a go. Here's a list of things that you can do, whether you want to start a business, a social enterprise, a non-profit, a charity, whatever. And a lot of these things you can actually try out and start as a side hustle, even if you're still working as a doctor. And the last section I want to talk about and give you a list of is basically just a complete career switch. So this includes things like acting, being a police officer, being a lawyer, being an artist. There's actually nothing stopping you from just completely switching your career and doing something completely different. The biggest barrier here is you probably need to do some retraining of some kind if you are going to go to a completely different sector that is skilled and may require some training. But your medical degree will again only help you get there. It's not going to be something that hinders you or pulls you back. At the end of the day, you can look at as many lists as possible, but what really matters is what are you excited to do? Because whether or not you're excited to try out this next new thing will have a really big impact on how you experience it and how you feel about doing it over medicine. It's really important to be excited for wherever you do next, because if you go into it and you're kind of like half-assing it, or you're not excited, or you feel forced to do it, then you're very unlikely to have a good experience with it. And for most people who leave medicine, I think the best thing to do is just take it one step at a time and experience new things and refine and tweak it over time until you start to have more of a understanding of what it is that you truly want to do. And a lot of the time people do start with medical things because that's what they know and that's what they feel comfortable with. So if you do want to start off with something medical based or health based, then that is a good way to go because it's a bit more familiar, it's a bit more comfortable. But just know that any list that you come across, including the list that I gave you, are not the be all and end all of what you can do with your medical degree. And if you are considering leaving medicine, I do have another video that talks about some practical things that you should think about before you make your decision. And you can watch that video here. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!